All right, we are live. This is paraglidingtalk.com. I'm here in a bunker in Southern California in a secret disclosed location. We're here tonight with Geti G, Alan Tho, and Max Martini for the Acro specialists. And then we're also joined, me and Neil, pair perspective. We're going to just soak it all up. Ain't that right, brother?
That's right.
That's right. So we're here, and you're here, and we're excited. This is going to be a fun show. So let's get this thing rolling tonight. So let me just give you a little background on why we're doing what we're doing tonight. Paraglidingtalk.com was birthed from just a desire to talk about paragliding things and to learn paragliding things. And so my main thing was I want to fly safer. I want to learn. And I also like hanging out. So anyways, I saw some guys that had a motorcycle vlog, a video log that they did. And I thought, man, that'd be an awesome thing if we had a place where we could come every week and talk about paragliding. So stoked about that. I do have a website that I made for the show, so you can find out what's going on in the future. And then you can look at all the past shows. That's at paraglidingtalk.com. And I do want to encourage you to go and subscribe to each of these guys that are on the show tonight. And the links for most of their channels are in the description. And if you want to know more about them in the future, and maybe you're catching this video after it's already been live, hit me up on there. You can hit me up at paraglidingtalk.com. Give me your email, and we'll get you in touch with who you want to ask questions or talk to. Also, we've created some Patreon accounts. I personally created a Patreon account for this show to keep it going and keep it motivated. And I also want to just put a shout out for brother Max. Max started up a Patreon account for his promotion of his school and for just learning paragliding in general. And he's got an incredible talent to put together videos. And so just that alone, it's worth it. I'm a Patreon supporter. It's small right now, but I'm going to boost it up soon. I'm excited for what he's doing. And it's great to have you guys on the show. And I really appreciate everybody logging in. And as we speak, people are chiming in left and right. So without any more delay, I did send out some invites to a couple other people. We'll see if they join in. And if you have questions in the chat, feel free to ask those, and we're going to put those up. Tonight, the topic is Acro. And this show got inspired. Geti G reached out to me and said, hey, can we do a show talking about Acro? And with Max. And also Alan recently put out a video where he was talking about doing practicing and learning how to do the helicopter. And this is obviously, in my opinion, it's probably the hardest maneuver, but you guys can talk about that during the show. And he put out a couple videos. So we're going to have a great time tonight. Really glad that you're here. And we're going to have a good time. Max, I muted you. I don't know if you can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, I was just waiting for other people to say something.
I just didn't know if I could do it, if I can mute you and then you unmute yourself. So I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, I don't know how this thing works. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about this. You've got a certain amount of skill set. And I want to ask this question first, because, you know, at some point, maybe down the road, I want to do some acro. What do you do? Where do you start? And what's it going to take to get off the ground? And then I'm going to turn the show loose to you guys. And we'll pull up some images and show some short videos, maybe from Max or from Geti. Where do we start?
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you very much for the plug. Support me on Patreon, support the show on Patreon. Very nice. You guys keep the show going, so thank you very much for that. Well, about your question, where should you start? First of all, you should start with the basics. That's the most important thing. So you need to first have a really good you should be really good at ground handling. You should understand all the movements of the wing on the ground. It will facilitate a lot your progression in the air. And then you should break it down in how should I say it? You should break it down in steps to practice. You should break it down into basically into two parts: the dynamic maneuvers and the stalled maneuvers. Uh, to start, well, maybe we should ask Jetty what is his progression and what is his intentions. What do you want to learn? What is the next step for you?
Uh, um, yeah. Well, I'll be going down to Albania in about 2.5 months, and I want to fully in accuracy. And the goal for that trip will be to learn just about every acro move there is, including I want to progress. I know that it's possible to get into the infinity tumbling in that kind of really push it. Um, what do you think about this as far as being able to progress to the infinity tumble in about 2-3 months? Do you think that's possible
I think it's a really
with
stupid
consistent
idea.
flying? Stupid?
it's, it's really a stupid idea. As I
Okay.
said in another video, uh, if you progress too quickly, it might go wrong because you're not giving time to fully understand, to fully master the movements. So take your time, and it's not about doing infinity. It's about the slow progression. It's about the way. It's not about getting there. It's about the way you're taking, the path you're taking.
Yeah.
So acro is not just about going there and doing the tricks. It's about learning and failing and having good days and having bad days. So it's really, even if you're flying every day, you should take it easy. You should take it slowly. You should master the maneuver before doing the next one. And there are many maneuvers you should master before infinity tumbling.
Mm. Yeah. That's the yeah, infinity tumbling at least. That how I see it. That's like the ultimate sort of acro move. At least it's for my sort of what I want to achieve. But the reason I say is it possible to learn in 2 to 3 months is just because of where Uganda is and what I've heard about it, where it's supposed to be really consistent flying, consistent conditions, and you've got other pilots who are experienced and they sort of advise you and they guide you. Um, and with the right equipment, so you still think that's a pretty far out idea as far as wanting to learn really quick, uh,
Yes,
Acro?
uh, I've went to Argania 2014, and
Oh,
I stayed there um, about I think 2 months. Um, and it's not like you go there and people will tell you what to practice, and then you're magically going to learn every maneuver and then master it, and then uh, it's not like that. So
right.
first you have to you have to find someone who's willing to teach you something. So it's not anybody that is going to go to you and say, come on, Jetty, let's practice that, ah, this is how you do it. No, many of the pilots are very how should I say, very reserved to talk about the maneuvers. I don't know why. I think they see it like it's a competition. I want to be better than you, so I won't reveal my secrets. I think it's stupid,
Mm.
but unfortunately, that's where we at now. Um, I have a question. I would like to I would like that Alan talks about his progression. What have you been practicing, and where are you now? How is it going with your heli trainings?
Oh, well, I appreciate the video you did for me, and I put another video. I put trying another time and a little better, I think, this time because I was letting my hands up more when I started to rotate. So, but yeah, it's still it still looks like shit. It looks like crap every time.
Woohoo!
There's one.
My bad. My bad.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Is that your
um,
dogs?
that's not my dogs. No.
Oh, that's my dog. Sorry.
Oh my gosh,
Let's
they're
just
going
shut up.
crazy. What'd
But
you do? Did you
Um,
order a pizza or what?
I don't know.
so I actually went to my Rush 4 from which is a B glider because I have more experience on that glider, and also I don't think it's the best glider for doing helicopters, but I know that glider much more than the glider I was borrowing in the video I sent to you. So um, I uh, I'm still working on helicopters. I think that's from what I've been hearing from other people also that commented on Just Acro is just practice this trick until you get it. So I'm trying not to try anything else like rhythmic sat or anything. I mean, I still do sats and wingovers, but I don't want to focus on anything else until I feel much better about helicopters. So, but it's only been like a couple weeks, so
Hey,
still.
yeah, but I saw your progression. It's very nice to see. What were the tricks you were practicing before getting into the helico?
Just sat most of the time. Sats like all the time. Like for a year now, been doing maybe 1,000 sats. And I like to try to do rhythmic sat. And then what wanted to do the helico was because I wanted to learn sat to heli. So I thought better learn heli so I can go instead of coming out of sat in back through a spiral. I wanted to come out through heli. So that's why I decided to learn heli, and turns out it's really hard. So
Yeah, but my question was more like, what maneuvers were you practicing to get the heli down?
oh well, I did a whole bunch of stalls, like many stalls, and I have probably like 200 stalls trying to go to backfly. So I didn't really practice the deep stall as much as I should have, which is my mistake that you pointed out. So I never really understood when it seems like a lot of people when they're doing them they just slam a brake and spin it, and I'm wondering about, even sometimes I watch your videos, you'll be flying and I see you guys just jab it, and so for me I didn't realize the progression you talk about, but maybe it's because you've already done that maneuver a lot more than I have.
Yeah, so that thing that you see in my videos, that's a whole different maneuver. It's a
Maneuver, yeah.
connection. Mostly I do Misty to heli,
Hmm.
which is a 360 spin from the normal flight or from a pendulum, and then I do some corrections and fall into a heli,
Yeah.
or Mac twist to heli, and yeah. But it's nice to see that that you practiced from the stall, and then you've done some spins also.
Yeah, I've done just like spin, just jab it and spin and hold it, and then wait till it surges and then release. So I've done that a lot. So I could probably try that maneuver also, but um, most of the time my connections I've just been doing wingovers into sat and just different entry points for sat. So stuff like that.
Yeah, nice, nice. So that's the most important thing that I want to point out for Getty and for everybody else that want to practice. If you want to learn a maneuver, you need first to learn a whole bunch of other stuff. so that you are prepared for every situation that might possibly happen while you're trying the desired maneuver. Like the heli, first you need to practice the spins and the stalls and the deep stall and all that stuff, just to understand the behavior of your wing. And that's why I made also the stall tutorial, one of, I think, my most viewed video. uh, and I broke it down in 5 maneuvers that you have to practice, um, which is the pitch pendulum, the minimal velocity, and the pre-stall, stall release, and then the backfly and the parachutage or deep stall. And that's very important. That's one of the basics. The basics for the stalled maneuvers is to understand all of these 5 maneuvers. And now for the other column, for the other basic part of Acro, which is the dynamic maneuvers, now you have the spirals and the wing overs. With those, you will understand all the rest. And I did also a tutorial about it. It's called inversions, aka wing over tutorial. It's where I teach you to practice from the beginning. If you don't know anything about wing overs, that you hold your risers and just try to amplify the pendulum by weight shifting. So I really recommend you to watch those 2 videos, the inversions and the stall tutorial.
Oh, I have.
Jedi,
I've watched that video. I really like the way you took the pictures of the wing at different stages. Just beautiful. Like
Yeah.
amazing work you did.
Yeah, he does really good. All of his videos are really incredible. Again, let me put a pitch out there for him. Go make sure you guys go subscribe to these guys. Max Martini's link and Geti G's link is in the description. Alan, I didn't put yours in. I wasn't sure if you're going to be on, but I can put it in afterwards. Alan's building his empire of videos as well, and they are incredible as well. You got to go check those out. He's got one really good one that, anyways.
Well, actually, I just got a 360 camera. I got the GoPro Fusion, so this summer you'd be watching.
Yeah, that's what I didn't want to say it. I wasn't going to spoil it, but since you said it, that's rad.
Yeah.
How is that camera, by the way, the 360? I've been seeing a lot of footage of those now.
Yeah, it's really rad, except for getting it off your computer. Getting it to actually work is something I'm having trouble with. So it requires like a lot of power. So if you don't have a very good computer, then it's going to be a difficult process getting it off of the. So I haven't been able to. I have a pretty new laptop, but it's not strong enough. So
right, because it's recording 360 around you, so that's a huge file size, wouldn't it? Is it a huge file size?
It's not just that. Let me show you it right here. It's so there's the camera. So, but there's also so there's the 2 cameras on each side.
Oh,
but
wow.
then after it takes the recording and it stitches it together, so there's actually like 7 files. There's 2 video files from each side. Then there's a gyroscope file for each of those. So they each have their own control. So you don't need like a gimbal. It will stabilize it automatically. And then there's a stitching file that connects them together. So yeah, it's a lot of memory and it takes a lot of power on your computer. So you need to have like really high processor and lots of RAM and Windows 10 or the highest version of iOS. So so far I need to buy a new computer, I think.
Oh, right. That's cool though.
Yeah. So I'm still working on it actually. So I know some guys in San Diego that are using it. So I've got some friends.
Yeah, Max was using one the other day. I don't know whose it was. Oh, you know who it was? David.
David Audie, yeah.
Yeah, he's got some footage. If you talk to David Audie, by the way, tell him tell him to message me again because he was going to connect me with the GoPro people,
Yeah.
and I was supposed to do something with them, and I didn't. I forgot to get his phone number.
Yeah. We got to get Max one of those too, man. Get him sponsored so he can get himself a GoPro Fusion.
Yeah, he was using one. I don't know if it was his or.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was his. Maybe he was borrowing it from somebody.
Yeah. So hey, Max, you don't know this, but there's another Max here who's just an incredible acro pilot, also Max
Oh,
Marion.
I know
Okay.
him. I know him.
But I just want to make sure you know, like, what we're saying, Max, all the time. And he's like,
Of course. I'm aware.
all right.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Robert, did you get that email I just sent you? It's some of the questions that I sent Max as well.
Oh, no, I didn't. Let me open that up right now.
Yeah, because I actually wrote down a few questions. Do you want me to just ask him some of the questions that I wrote down?
Yeah, go for it, man. This is you guys' show, man. I'm just here for the moral support.
That's all good. So the first question was basically equipment-wise, what would be your ideal setup for an acro newbie? Basically, like what type of wing would be good to train on?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, harness, and what type of reserve system would you say is a good system where it's, do you think a regalo and a round reserve, or do you think two round reserves? Yeah, just your thoughts on that. And what do you fly with?
So, about your question, it really depends how much money are you able to spend. Because if you're a poor man, then I would recommend you uh, getting a used ENB wing, uh, like the bus from Ozone or Infinity 4 from U-Turn, or the new. Now the companies are trying to make some freestyle ENB wings. I saw Gradient making a new wing, the X styles, I think. Ikaru also with the new Xenos. Um, ENB wing is the best because they do all the basic maneuvers, and they are really forgiving and really slow. They give you time to react. Uh, of course, those wings are not able to do uh, highly dynamic maneuvers like the tumblings or mech twist or those really aggressive maneuvers. But it's really not necessary for the beginning. First, you have to practice a lot your helicos and your sat and your wing over and your stall, and a ENB wing is the best for this. Then I would recommend you buying a Acro harness. The best one on the market, without a doubt, is the Super Air Acro 3. Um, you have two reserve compartments, which is, well, for a beginner, not really necessary. You need only one if you are a really conscious pilot that don't want to toss your reserve. Um, so about a reserve parachute, um, I would recommend a basic round one. But if you have the money, go for a Rogallo. But uh, I saw some guys from Austria doing the comparison uh, from the comparison of the round one Rogallo and the square, and they really made a good point about it, that the Rogallo is as a very specific reserve parachute. You need to have some training. You need to know how to pack it and how to throw it and how to handle your wing and how to handle the twists, because those rogalos, they always twist. So it's a really difficult topic, and it's really, there's so many things to talk about, and it's actually not that important for you right now. I would only recommend you to going for a round one, which is much bigger than your actual weight. Like if you're weighing 90 kilos with your equipment, I would recommend you going with a 120 kilogram reserve.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and about the harness, just to talk a little bit more about the harness. You can fly with any harness, but of course, the Acro harness is specifically designed to support your weight and to give you the perfect uh, connection to your wing. And also, it's really important that you adjust it right, because if you have a acro harness that is uh, poorly adjusted, then it won't help much. So you need to have a sitting position, and the most important thing is the chest strap needs to be your arm length, like from your fist to your elbow. It's about I don't know, 46 centimeters. But one problem with the Acro 3 harness is that um, it has a ABS system, which is to dampen down your weight shift when it's fully closed. It has like some diagonal straps uh, sewn into the chest strap. And if you have, that's really important to know, if you have a slow glider, ENB glider, then it's better to leave it open. And if you have a fast glider, like a freestyle glider or acro glider, then you close it. It's really not necessary to have so much weight shift on an acro glider or freestyle glider. They are really sensitive. Um, uh, but I think I told you already about the equipment, didn't I, Jedi?
Um, like what equipment you fly?
Uh,
Did you tell me about the equipment that you fly or?
no, no, no. A long time ago, you asked me uh, what wing you should buy, what wing you should practice on, and then I told you already that you should get a slow wing, ENA, ENB wing, didn't I? I think yes.
Yeah,
At the
yeah, yeah,
time you
yeah.
bought
You did.
this blue wing.
It's on the show.
Ah, yeah, maybe yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, right now I'm flying the U-turn red out size 19. But I really don't recommend this glider for a beginner. Um, I learned all the maneuvers besides the mech twist and the tumbling uh, on a Infinity 4 from U-turn, which is a ENA, ENB wing, really forgiving, and you can watch all my videos. I did all the maneuvers with it and just fine. It was a little bit difficult on the Haley, but it just motivated me to practice more and uh, pay more attention to the details.
Yeah. So what reserve system are you flying with? I think the last time I can remember, you said you fly with just one reserve.
Yeah, I'm flying round one, and uh, when I do crazy stuff like jumping from a hot air balloon or whatever, then I use two. But it's really not necessary because I always try to fly within my limit, and I always try to fly safe.
Whatever those are.
Mhm.
Hey Max, can you talk about what that was like? jumping out of the balloon?
Oh
I saw
yeah.
that.
That was a nice experience. I don't know what to talk about it. It was much easier than I anticipated,
Mm-hmm.
and was an incredible feeling being kind of weightless those 1.5 seconds of free falling, and I really I really feel the urge, the need to one day do skydiving or base jumping because that seems to be really fun.
Let's go do it, man.
Hey,
Yeah.
we can. If you want to do it, we got some guys at Paris will do it. But that's kind of why I'm asking because I want to do it, and I'm wondering when you like, was it just like you go to stall? Were you coming in like into stall, or what, did you just let it fly and check it when it surged, or what? Or you practice,
Hold
or
on,
do
let's
they
pull
prep
it up.
you?
Uh,
I'm gonna pull it up
the
right now.
I, it's all about preparing your wing before jumping.
Mm-hmm.
You need really to be careful that your lines are free and that you're holding your risers stretched out to the front. Um, by stretched, I mean between your carabiners and your pulleys.
Yeah.
It needs to be really stretched out because if it's loose, then you will have like a really strong pull on it, and it's all about also jumping straight and yeah, and just letting the wing fill with air and breaking the surge. I don't break before the wing is fully open.
Yeah.
Here we go. I'm pulling it up right now.
That was a really cool video.
Did you guys? I'm trying to remember. You guys? Oh no, you didn't jump with the D bag. Yeah, it was.
No, one
Just
guy
threw it out in
had it
front of
like,
you.
yeah, I think one person held it out like this above him and just let it go. But
Yeah, here
Max,
I got it right here.
yeah.
Here we go. Let's see if we can make this work here. Boom. You guys see that? Present to everyone. Boom. Play. Let's go full screen here. You guys all see that?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
So John Staples is asking in the comment section. I have a Mojo Power. Any suggestions how long to stick to a ENA before moving on to the next wing? John, I would recommend you uh, um, destroying this wing before moving to the next one. Use it until it gets boring. So, and maybe I don't know. The Mojo Power is so much different to the free flight Mojo. Maybe if that's a something that holds you back, then uh, change to a free flight wing and use it until it's broken.
Dude, gosh, that looks so fun. All right, I'm going to stop this. I haven't flown in 11 days and I'm starting to have some withdrawals.
Uh,
Hey, did you hear about somebody tossing the sheets at
Palomar.
Palomar?
Yeah, right
Jeff?
after I landed. I don't know who it was.
Guy named Jeff?
Yeah, he wasn't with us. I don't know who it was.
I guess he's an incredible pilot. That's what I heard. And still had to toss the sheets. You were flying that day?
Yeah, that's the day I flew from Laguna. That's the day that we launched
Oh.
Laguna, and I landed at Palomar with a strong wind, strong west kicked in. So
Yeah, that was a strong day altogether.
yeah, it was
We
all right.
tried to fly at Blossom and we had to wait until way late.
Yeah, Blossom's
still-
ripping though in this time of year, you know.
Yeah.
Strong.
You see my shirt? See the Blossom shirt?
Dude, I didn't know there was a Blossom shirt.
Represent. You have to come fly at Blossom before you can get one, though.
Hey Max, what's your like standard for AGL? Like how much high above the ground before you you cut it off. No more maneuvers.
10 feet.
um, that's quite it's quite embarrassing to respond to that
Yeah.
Because you don't get that high.
because
I mean, you're on the coast, so how high can you even get? You know?
I shouldn't respond to that because I'm really not the right person to
Uh,
give the example for others. Uh,
Yeah, he's the very last person you want to ask about that because, like, I
yeah,
his last video, I emailed him and I was like, "Did you land in the water?"
nah, I
He's
didn't.
like, "No, I didn't land in the water."
Uh,
He was doing. You did a maneuver all the way down to like the last foot.
yeah, it's like for it depends on your level also.
mhm.
But of course, you're taking a risk that you shouldn't be taking. But I don't have any other options. If I want to do acro, I have to do it low, and I practice. It also depends on how often did you do the maneuver. I did like misty flips. I do like until the ground hits, but like maneuvers I'm not so confident with, I do it very high and exit very high, at least with 50 or 60 meters off the ground.
Oh my
um,
gosh.
which is
He
about 120 feet or something.
hand
No,
drag
no,
and then land.
180 feet. Yeah, but I mean, you I always practice the new maneuvers with a lot of altitude. I have some thermal spots that I can go to and get some really good altitude, like like 3,000 feet or something, and then I can do some new maneuvers, new connections. And then if I feel confident, I try it slowly and with really good altitude on my home spot, which is about 500 feet or something. And yeah, that's it.
Have you ever been caught out? So you
I
just
have
weren't paying attention how low you
what?
were?
Repeat,
Have you
please.
ever been caught out where you haven't focused and you haven't paid attention to how low you actually were?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
One of my recent videos, I think Robert, you saw that one. I
Yeah.
was doing like twisted flip to sat and then to heli, sat to heli, and sat to heli takes a really long time to really spin in a heli. It deforms the wing and then the axis is really weird, so it takes a long time to really get into the heli. And then I was only watching the wing, and then as I entered the heli, one round I looked down to check my altitude, and I was already almost in the bushes. And that it's funny to talk about it now, but at the moment it really makes you rethink a lot of things.
Mhm.
Um, and it humbles you because you shouldn't be practicing that low maneuvers that take time. You should be practicing at higher altitudes. And then I immediately stopped doing ili to sat on my home spot because that's too dangerous for me.
Mike Killinger asked, "What is your favorite acro maneuver?" He wrote afro, but he meant acro.
My favorite acro maneuver, I'm really into helis and misty flips and twisty flips. I think those are the most beautiful maneuvers that you can do and the most challenging, technically challenging maneuvers. And you, you can see if the pilot is a really good pilot if he can do nice heli to heli connections and perfect heli transitions. And for me, it's much more pleasing to watch than somebody throwing down in infinity tumblings or really dynamic maneuvers.
So I do want to. We're just past the halfway mark, and I do want to just put a plug in real quick for the show. Also, for if you're a brand new pilot and you're logging in, let's say you're going to want to fly a paramotor, you're going to want, or you are in the process of getting off the ground. I do want to say that a lot of this stuff that we're talking about tonight is it's beyond me. It's beyond most probably people that are watching, because it's a very, very small percentage of the people who are flying that do acro. So it's a privilege to have these guys on here talking about this. But I think there's a reason why they're here, because there's not a whole lot of places where you can go and talk about paragliding. And this is a I would say it's a superior sport in that you've got to use a lot of sense. You can't just go out and just start flying. A lot of times we make it look easy, and this is something, and I got sucked into the sport that way. I saw Tucker Gott's video and I said, gosh, that looks so easy. Anybody could probably do it, but it's a very dangerous sport. This afternoon I was watching some crash videos, which I don't normally do, but I figured I need to get exposed a little bit to some of the things that are happening out there, especially if I'm going to be talking about paragliding. Having that said, we've created the show so that we can make the sport safer and that we can learn something from it. Every week we can learn something. And if I can just encourage you, be reading books, be studying up on what you're getting into, be ground handling as much as you possibly can, especially before you get off the ground. It was recommended by me, to me, before I got off the ground, that I ground handled for at least 20 hours, literally, not just figurative. Oh, I got out there a handful of times and I'm probably around. No, literally 20 hours. I created a logbook. I put the logbook together, and I'm so grateful that I did. Put your logbook together, get your stuff in order so that you can record what's going on. I put down the date, the type of practice, the time of ground handling, my launches, and then my time in the air. And this stuff came in handy later on down the road. And it shows your progress as well. And it shows that you're passionate about what you're doing when you go to get your signed off. I don't know how it is in most of the world, but in the United States, you have to get a license, pilot's license through USHPA. And this is a critical aspect of that. So having all that said, that's why we created the show. I want to encourage you to go to the Patreon, support the show financially, keep it going, keep this thing rolling. Also want to put a plug in to please send me your ideas of who you want to have on the show. Don't just send me an email with a name, but try to get in contact. Pair Perspectives got a couple people coming on the show. By the way, I need to get those details and some pictures, maybe from their Facebook or something like that, to put on for the advertisement. And I want to do some more shows like this where we get into detail. I'm thinking about doing one where we talk about weather. I'm going to reach out to Kyle O, and I recently downloaded XC Skies. One of the most critical aspects of all this, what we're talking about, is the weather. There's going to be days when you're going to want to fly, but you can't fly. Max is having the issue of, he can only get so high because it's a coastal site. And so he's very comfortable in that. The wind is laminar. I don't recommend that you go and practice acro in mountains unless you really know what you're doing. Obviously, we're talking about doing acro in mountains for the most part. If you're in Southern California, I guess you can do it at Torrey Pines, but there's only a handful of guys that do it. Alan, though, he's not only an incredible pilot, but he's also an instructor. And so he's, and look, years of flying, and he's still reaching out and learning. So anyways, I just figure I'd throw my 2 cents in there and encourage you guys. Also, support Max's Patreon. I don't have the link in the description, but if you go to Max's channel, you can find that and just check out his videos. He just started it, so please go out and support him. Please go out, reach out to him. You can throw $1 at him. I mean, if at very least, just do something and support the community, support the paragliding folks. And yeah, but anyways, Brad, I'm super stoked that you guys are here. If you have questions and comments, fire away. And again, I'm going to let you guys take off. I think Max was going to say something.
Yeah. So thanks again. And yeah, about doing acro in the mountains and doing acro where I live on the coastal side, very low altitude. Well, I don't recommend you doing certain maneuvers, but I really recommend you doing other maneuvers that are really important to understand the real acro maneuvers. As I said before, there are few maneuvers that you can practice at any altitude that really don't take much altitude. Um, like the pitch pendulum, it doesn't take much. Really, you can do it all day long, like 10 meters off the ground. You can touch your feet on the ground and then go up and repeat and repeat. It's really important to just get comfortable with the limit of your wing, and you can do it at any altitude, even on the ground. And as you said, it's really important to do ground handling. Um, and it's really nice to see that you have a logbook and everything wrote down. It's also nice because you can remember what you've done. Many times you have done something and then you forget about it, and it might be important later on. So really nice to see your logbook. Um, yeah, about the Patreon stuff. Yeah, I've opened it right now, and you can pledge for appearing at the end of the video, or if you want to have some coaching, some personal um, instructions, you can send me a video of something you've done or want to learn, like Alan did. He did a video of learning helicos, and then I can analyze the video for you and specifically tell you what you should improve on, and what are your mistakes. And it's Alan can speak for himself. It might be helpful for you. So feel free to um, get send me an email or something. Always link down in the description of my videos. I'm also opening now a paragliding school. Sorry for the shameless plug, but I need to get it out. I'm opening a paragliding school here in Brazil, and I would welcome you guys here. If you can come visit, please come. Let's fly together and have fun and practice, and make the best out of the beautiful sights we have here. We don't only have coastal sites, we have perfect soaring thermals and really nice places to practice acro. One of those is like 150 kilometers from here. It's called Pomerode, and we have like 500, 600 meters in the box. The box is where you practice acro, where you have nothing below you, and it's really nice. So one flight there, you can really evolve a lot. Is it right how I said it? Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
So uh, the paragliding school, I'm I'm doing three things. I'm teaching newbies who want to learn to fly. I'm doing those adventure stuff like jumping from a hot air balloon or traveling to some nice spots like Iquique. We are planning to go visit Iquique and make a big trip, a big uh, a big group of pilots who go there and practice together. And yeah, and the other stuff is personal coaching. I'm offering you to give my all my experience, and through the videos, and you don't even need to come here to Brazil and fly with me. I can do it with you, like we are doing here right now, through live streaming and videos. And yeah, I can
Love it.
offer all that for you.
Hey, what's that on your wall behind you?
That's a plane.
Is it broken or what?
uh, it never flew.
It's cool art.
Yeah, it's a reminder.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
So back to the questions,
Yeah.
if you want.
Did you see the question from Who was it? Let me go back up here. Mike, your favorite place is that? Did you answer that question? Your favorite place to fly, other than your home site?
Uh, I have many favorite places around the world. Uh, one of my favorite places is definitely Organia, Marcesine at Lago di Garda. Um, really beautiful spots where you have a lot of freedom, a lot of altitude. You can play around and have really cheap cable car access to the mountain. In 10 minutes, you're at 2,000 meters. Uh, it's just a dream. One of the places I am sure it's one of my favorites is Iquique, but I didn't have the opportunity yet to go visit. It's just a huge dune with no obstacles. You can fly Acro and you can fly Waga, and yeah,
Where's
it
that
seems
at?
like a dream. Iquique is in Chile.
Oh, Chile. That's
So,
awesome,
what
man.
is your favorite places?
Well, I
I want
like
to
any
fly.
place I can get high. Mostly, I fly Andy Jackson and San Bernardino in California. Mostly, our we launch from Crestline. We have about 4,000 AGL, so it's automatically, even if you get nothing, you're already got 4,000 feet. So, and usually you can top land and ridge soar, and then if you want to throw down, you can go out towards the LZ. So,
Yeah, I love to watch your videos, like from you and from Jeffrey. It's really awesome,
Jeremy,
man.
yeah, yeah,
So,
Jeremy, right?
yeah.
Not Jeffrey,
Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Yeah. Jeremy Conrad.
Hey Max, I've got just one more question. The thing it was just basically how tired do you actually get from a full day's acro? Is it you just fully exhausted at the end of the day and you can't do much else? Because I know just when I was training
Well,
for the SAT, it was so labor intensive.
it depends on the wing. On a beginner wing where your brakes are really heavy, and just to hold a sat, you have to pull all your your strength out of your body. Then it's really tiring.
Hmm.
Also, when it's a stressful flight where you're learning something new and it doesn't go as well as planned, and then you get a collapse or something, then it can get really stressful and it gets really tiring, not physically but mentally. Also, when you're not in the right mood or not, uh, how should I say it, well, um, when you're uh, when you didn't eat well and you're in bad physical shape or something, then it can get really tiring also. What is really important is to stay hydrated. I noticed many times that if I didn't drink enough water, I was really quickly tired and had to take a nap at the takeoff before flying. uh, it's really important to take care of all those aspects, like your health, your physical health, your mental health. Have the right equipment and the right conditions. If it's turbulent, then it's obviously getting really tiring to maintain the spin or something, or the heli, or maybe the wing over collapses because of turbulence or something. So it's really important to have all the aspects, all the aspects are perfect, all the conditions are perfect to have a nice progression, and is to not be very tiring. Of course, I had some days where I've flown like 8 hours straight, practicing like non-stop, just stop to drink water and pee and then take off again and then fly and to practice heli and sat and all that stuff one after the other. And that's of course really tiring, but it's it's tiring, but such a nice sensation. It's like it's like if you're drugged, if you're completely high from paragliding.
Yeah. And you recover normally the next day. It's not that hard on the body.
Well, yeah, sometimes I can fly 2 days straight, like 5 hours, 6 hours straight. On the third day, then you feel like really tired, and yeah, it's enough. Don't practice too much, you say to yourself. But it's not like I never thought that I never felt that paragliding is very physical for me. It's more mental, so sometimes you just need to relax after a flight and sleep and bring bring down your mind, uh, or how should I say it? Yeah, and
Yeah,
then on the next day is fine.
yeah.
Uh, um, Acro is not very tiring if you do it right, like anything in paragliding.
Hmm.
Mm.
I've
So
got sorry. I've just got one last question that
yeah,
I've been
you're
meaning
good.
to ask.
Go
Uh,
ahead.
just whenever you get into some sort of spiral while in acro, whatever transition into an acro move, when is it too much of a spiral where you have to get out of it? Is it you feel the dizziness? You feel you actually blacking out? Is it are you feeling the G's? Um, I'm just not sure because I'm just trying to get into the set. I thought many times of exiting, but then I would never be able to get into the set. So I just kept holding on until I got into it, and it sort of worked. But at the same time, I did get a bit dizzy while going into it. I was just wondering, like, was I pushing the limits a bit too much, or when's the appropriate time to just exit out of a move?
Um, well, I've never done more than 3 or 4 rounds of spiral, so I don't like to do it. First of all, it's really abrasive for your wing. It
Yeah.
really stretches the wing, and there's no real purpose to doing a spiral for me. There
Hmm.
are many other maneuvers that are much more interesting to do. Uh, but the spiral is one of the most important aspects you need to master before doing any acro maneuver. Uh, for to answer your question quickly, when I uh, when I notice that my vision is getting smaller, then I really should exit the maneuver. And there are uh, many techniques to uh, be more resistant to the G-force. Uh, One of the techniques is to um, flex all your muscles on your body and make sure to breathe out consciously. Don't hold your breath. So I should demonstrate it quickly. You flex your muscles, your torso, your abdomen, flex it, and then you breathe out. Breathe in, and then press the air out so that your oxygen stays in your head. That's the
Mm.
most important thing. You
Hmm.
can watch many videos about it. There are many military trainings. There are the G-force training for paragliders. You can do that. Uh, about the dizziness, that's a whole nother topic because you can get dizzy just by doing helicos, which has no G-force at all.
Hmm.
I get dizzy very quickly doing SAT.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, and also, yeah. So the dizziness is something you have to get used to, uh, and
Right.
and that's also step by step, slowly, because if you force it, then you will get really nauseous really quickly. So practice, like if you're doing spirals, do a strong spiral like 1 2 rounds and then exit, release, relax, and then do to the other side, do two spirals, strong spirals that you're facing down, and then exit. Try to exit smoothly. Try to exit uh, quickly so that you have a big surge at the end. Uh, yeah, practice
Yeah.
all those things.
Hey, one of the questions came up
Yeah.
for Alan. He said, "Hey, Alan, or has Alan ever talked about his worst tandem flights?" I found it very interesting here with Ivan's tandems, especially the guy who stopped right at the edge of the cliff, causing the dot dot dot.
I mean, the worst flights are when they throw up and it gets on you. So I'm you know, I had one passenger, she had to go to the bathroom, and when she came back, she didn't put her leg loops back on, and I didn't notice until I pulled the glider and then I see it, so I had to shut it down. But
Oh.
really, tandem, except for the throwing up, we're in control, so I don't really. It's just boring as can be, honestly.
You ever
So
take somebody on like a wild ride?
yeah, like a lot of people want to do like well, sometimes at Tory they're drunk and stuff, and they want to do crazy stuff, and they ask for it, so I give it to them, and and they freak out. So, yeah, but I wanted to ask Getty, what wing are you doing your sats and stuff on?
This is a rush one.
Oh, Rush
Pretty.
One. Okay, yeah, because I'm
Yeah.
on a yes. Um, and are you doing sat a lot now? Is that like your favorite thing?
Not really. Like literally, I did one session of acro training. That was the inland spot that we have, and I just
Yeah.
haven't gone back there until I go to Albania. But what you're on the Rush 4, is that?
Yeah, that's what I learned. And well, I did sats on other gliders too, but the rush is pretty good. I think it goes in easy. So,
Okay.
but you're going into spiral a lot. You said.
Yeah, yeah. Just because I want to know the G forces.
Yeah.
Just in case you get into a spiral for whatever reason, you get a cravat and then you're in the spiral, and try and not panic while in it. But yeah, like that was my intention behind training the spirals, just to be comfortable with the crazy G loading.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. That's
Have you?
same with Max. I don't really like to do spirals either, but I love doing sats because there's no the G forces are nothing compared to like spiral. So, but
Yeah.
one thing I happened to me is I started doing on one side, and I only did it on that side for a long time, and my glider got really messed up, so I had to do them on the other side.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
it
Stretched
stretches
out
the
the lines?
lines, and so if you're not doing both sides, you're stretching out. Your what I noticed was if I let go and my glider was starting to turn
What?
trim. Yeah,
Uh,
Wow. That's
it definitely
crazy.
seems plausible because it's insane the G forces you can generate, like
yeah,
Yeah.
in those sort of maneuvers.
and it's not symmetric either, so you want to make sure you're doing both sides, so you stretch out both sides of the wing.
That was actually another question I was going to ask Max is, do you practice your maneuvers on both sides? Um, whatever maneuver it would be.
Yeah, always, both sides.
Always, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I,
And why is that?
I'm equally good on both sides. Sometimes I have like a phase where I'm better to the right or better to the left, but it's always changing, and it's always nice and always nice to practice your weaker side uh, to equalize. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, I do it for fun. I like it.
Yeah,
Like doing transitions, it opens new opportunities for transitions. You can do like misty reverse or heli to heli or sat to heli, and then maybe sat reverse heli, and it's just nice.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Looks like Craig's got a question for you, Getty. He said, how much does the weather affect your beach flying where you live because of the heading into winter soon?
yeah, summer is definitely the season for flying. But last winter was actually pretty good. Like just about as much flying as summer, but it was mostly just strong conditions, like super strong, just low to the dunes, so you don't get into the Venturi and picked up. So it's not great flying in winter because it's usually always strong winds. I've only been flying for 2.5 seasons, so I don't know the exact weather patterns. But yeah, it's not horrible. Like maybe you get a fly 2 times a week, um, like even in winter, which is not too bad. But yeah,
Yeah, I noticed you haven't put any videos about or with that spot that you normally fly at with the turf. I really like that
yeah.
spot.
It's actually hasn't. It's my favorite spot as well. It's such a nice spot. There's no trees. There's no any obstacles there. It's just nice rounded hills and that astroturf as well. It's a really awesome place, but it's not on that often. The conditions down there.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah,
Wind direction.
yeah. Wind direction and strength as well. Usually it's too light or too strong down there.
That's great. So I hope that we've answered all the questions that we can. We're at the 7 o'clock mark. Alan, what's next for you?
Well, I was gonna ask Max that if he thinks I should just keep working on helicopters for just as long as it takes, or should I just try, because before I was doing that, I was trying rhythmic sat, and Stephen Nowak told me that it's actually easier to do that than to do helicopters. So I'm wondering what he thinks about mixing the trainings together, or should I just stay focused on helicopters?
Um, uh, what do you feel? What do you feel?
So for me, I feel like there's conditions where it's safer to do sat stuff, it's thermic and bumbly, and then there's times when the air is more smooth. I can try some helicopter stuff. So
I'm opening now the justacro.com/tricks, and let's open the helicopter page, and in the description it says, if you really want to learn this trick, you
yeah,
have to go for it and forget to practice everything else.
yes, I read that also.
So just an idea.
That's
I'm practicing helicos for now over 2 years, and I still
yeah.
don't get it.
But do you
It's
think
really
it's
difficult.
yeah? Do you think that the conditions are really important? Because I fly in a thermic site, so when I can get high, it's usually in a result of thermic air, so it's not so smooth. So
Uh, the the thermic influence is is only annoying at the entry. As
hmm
soon as you're stalled and the wing is spinning, it doesn't matter.
mm,
Then it's just about trying to stabilize the oscillation. Uh, it's um, it's more dangerous to practice dynamic maneuvers when it's turbulent,
mm,
because you can easily, like if you're doing wing overs, you have some updrafts and it can collapse your wing. And it's really annoying to have like this nervous wing response. But when you're doing stalled maneuvers like helicos or I don't know, backfly or something, then it doesn't matter that it's turbulent. So I would recommend you use your altitude to your favor and practice many helicos, as
All
many as
right.
possible. Like you have
I
a few
will.
thousand feet under your butt, then just do one to the left, one to the right, one to the left, one to the right, like 2 3 rounds, and then go out,
Okay.
practice the entry, stabilizing, and out, and the exit, entry,
Yeah.
stabilize, exit, and over and over and over and over and over again. Of course it gets annoying, it gets boring to practice always the same stuff, but you can also, I would recommend you practicing wing overs, because you did now over 200 sats, you said.
Hmm.
So go for the wing over. The wing over is also really complex, really difficult to learn.
Hmm.
To do nice big wing overs, there are not many pilots that are able to, and it's really important if you want to learn the infinity tumbling, the loopings, and all that stuff. So go
Hey,
for the wing over and helicos.
what who do you guys want to see on the show?
Who else?
Yeah, who do you want to
Have you
see on
got?
the show?
Have you talked to Brad? You know Brad Ganusio?
Yes, I have reached out to him, and he did say he would come on, but he never got back to me. I could probably follow up with him.
What about Jordan? Do you know Jordan?
I don't know him personally. I met him once at Tory, but I don't have his contact information. Do you have a
Yeah.
way to reach out to him?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
Okay,
Both
maybe
those
you can
guys.
message him. Here's what I'm looking at. Let me get my calendar.
Also,
real quick.
Aaron Price, runs the cross country league for that kind of scene.
Okay.
If you're into that XC stuff.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the XC thought, but I haven't really done much. May 17th, that's the next show. That's open. 24th and 31st of May are all open for the show. So if you guys have ideas on who you want to have on the show, and if you have contact with them, have them either reach out to me, or if you can just message them and then let me know how I can talk to them or get a hold of them. And in the meantime, I do have some plans in case everything falls through. We don't have an opportunity to have someone come on. I may just do the next show will be a weather show where we talk about studying the weather and understanding wind and all the different dynamics, and then talk about maybe some safety stuff. But in the meantime, if you have somebody that you want, like, I don't know, it seems like between just the people who we've had on the show already, it would be really, you guys have a really strong influence in getting guys. I mean, the fact that we had some of the guys that we've had on already, it still blows my mind. That, I mean, totally trips me out. So that's all on you guys. Let me know. Again, go to the website, give me your email. If you haven't, make sure that you put a comment in there about who you are, just in case. Cause if I got your name, or if I get your email, but I don't know who you are, if I don't have your moniker, I don't know who you are. Some people have given me emails and I have no idea who they are. So if you did give me your email and you didn't tell me what your name was, you'll get just the general stuff. I really appreciate everybody who's helped us get this going. All the Patreon supporters, I think we're like, I want to say $50 a show right now, or not a show, but $50 a month, which is amazing. So I really appreciate you guys. You know who you are. I've actually put a little thing on the website that it's under the support show. So if you're a supporter of the show, your name is actually on the list. And I really appreciate that. And I mean, for me, it was kind of weird to start asking for people to give me money to do the show, but I can see now why. And so it's fun. Again, really appreciate you guys. We're going to call this a wrap unless anybody else has anything that's really critical you want to add to the show. we'll wrap it up here.
I have something to say to Geti. Dude, take it easy, take it slowly, be humble. Don't go for a Ganya just to learn infinity tumblings or get the best at it. Just enjoy the ride, man, and don't don't compare yourself to the other pilots that are there. Enjoy your time, and yeah,
Yeah,
take it easy.
that's very sound advice. That's advice from someone with experience.
I was gonna say that's advice
cool,
for
man.
everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stay humble, take it slow, and enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
love it.
thanks a lot, Max, for doing this and just answering the questions and shit.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on. You guys, Getty, you're a hero of the sport, as well as Max and Alan. Tabin says thanks for giving you the tandem. By the way, he took my son on, both my older two boys on tandems, and it made the world to them. And I can't wait to get my tandem so I could take somebody and share that with somebody. So cool. And so really appreciate you guys in the chat. All you guys make the show possible. You guys are awesome. And we're going to have a little short after show. And so if you're on live, just stick around for just a second. And just again, really appreciate it. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this. If you want to advertise on the show, reach out to me. We hit the 1,000 subscriber mark. So pretty big audience. I mean, if you think about a room with 1,000 people in it, it's a lot of folks. I know, right? It's a milestone for us, and so it's all you guys, man. We just come on here and ask questions, and so it's all on you guys. Really appreciate it. Anyways, we'll talk to you guys soon. See you on the next show. If we don't, we'll see you in the air.